Good evening. Please join me in saluting the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks everyone for coming. Okay. Let the minutes say that, show that all select board members are here. And we'll start with consent agenda, number 1, AP warrants, number 10, 10/15/2025, and number 2, payroll registers, 42, 10/16/25, and number 43, 10/23/25. Just need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to accept the warrants and registers as written.
A second.
Okay, any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, acceptance of the select board minutes from the meeting on October 14th.
Make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Any questions or concerns with regard to those? Seeing none, all in favor? Okay, old business, Mark Goodwin, Lakewood Cannabis, annual licensing fees.
Should I speak from back here?
Up to you, you can come up if you want.
Yeah, if you don't mind coming up.
No problem. Is this fine?
Yep, that's fine, thank you.
Thank you for the time this evening to allow me to raise some potential concerns regarding the recently passed ordinance by the town governing medical cannabis. My concerns are over trying to define what is grandfathered and in what circumstance. I have a store in Madison out on Route 201. That store has been in operation before your new ordinance that now has a radius around certain locations. For example, there's a town basketball court that is within the radius of an established cannabis store in the town. My store is potentially affected also as there is a new daycare center opening behind my store. Please understand that I have no problem with the daycare center opening, and I wish them nothing but success. And I fully realize that the town can certainly use more daycare facilities. My store was there first and thus considered grandfathered. But there are several components to the store, some being physical, some being financial, some being legal. By physical, I mean that the store has a structure, it has products in it, it has a patient base, it has operating hours, it has cash flow. The second piece is the value of the business, and the third piece is the legal framework that any business operates under, meaning the corporate structure and such. Business owners have rights when it comes to selling a business or taking on partners or changing corporate structures, like from a sole proprietorship to an LLC. If I were to take on a partner, would the business have to go up in front of the board because it's a change in corporate structure? Could the town force me to shut my store down if I change business structure, even though I'm still part of that structure? So am I forbidden to sell my store, though it is grandfathered? Would it lose its grandfathered status, though there was no closure and is operating continuously in the same location? Am I not allowed to take on partners? Am I not allowed to expand? What I would like to see is that my business is grandfathered in its current location, and that I'm free to take on partners or sell the business providing it doesn't close the current location. For the sake of the townspeople, what affects them is whether or not the business is running there, its physical presence, not its financial background, not its corporate structure. Should I move to a different location within the town, that would and should require town approval, because that's a change in the physical manifestation of the business. My belief is that I should, as a business owner, retain the other rights to expand my operation, take on partners, or sell it, providing it does not move. If I were to expand the scope of my business, taking on new functions like adding a kitchen, then that should fall under town review. So I'm looking for some clarity around what is grandfathered in the scope of this ordinance. I do understand that for some reason the select board has decided to set a cap at 3 operating businesses. I do understand that. I don't know where that number derived from, but I understand that it has to be something. So I'm just looking for a little bit of clarity as a business owner over what my rights are operating under this ordinance.
I can comment on the 3 to 5 mark. We were at 5. And I think that's the talk started before I came on the board. I know at that point we were looking to move back from the 5 stores we had. I just don't think we wanted to get into a point where we had 10, 12, 7, 8 stores within the town limits. So I think it arbitrarily became 3. We knew we were at 5. If we'd have stayed at 5, we'd have been all right with it. But it just weeded down from there. And I remember us talking about that way back. As far as the ordinance, your grandfather, and I don't think we have any intention on doing any harm to you guys that are already in business. That was the intention of it. I mean, I think it was set parameters going forward. I think we'd have to dig into the ordinance more with some legal advice around what sale would look like, what taking on partners would look like. I'm not sure it explains that out.
It really doesn't, and that's why I bring it in front of the select board for further clarification. I can certainly understand the boards being concerned about the footprint of medical cannabis within the community. And if I were to move across the street from your elementary school, I can certainly understand that you might have some concerns, where that's concerned. I'm not, but a business is manifest in many ways, right? So what are the financial implications of that? Can I take on a new business? Because there was a rumor, and I understand this was all rumor and innuendo, about the bad actor that was at the foot of the hill, and he got shut down in the summertime, and I believe the word was that he ran afoul of the town in part because of a dissolved partnership. Now that's the corporate side, that wasn't the physical side, and he was still involved with the business. Now I'm not trying to step to defend this bad actor in any way.
Yeah.
Please understand that. I'm just using that as an illustration of point. Once again, we have another one, Puffbox, which is too close to the town basketball courts. Can he not sell his business because he's too close to the basketball courts? He was grandfathered in before the ordinance was enacted. I was in before the ordinance was enacted, and for that matter, so was Simple Twist. But he wasn't grandfathered in. So I'm trying to obtain some clarification over what this means, because we're in a situation now within the industry where the industry's level. There's no year-over-year growth. So what generally winds up happening on the business front is businesses start to feed on each other, looking for market share. So these questions are pertinent and relevant in today's market. So I'm just trying to get some clarity over what my rights as a business owner are.
May I speak to Simple Twist just for a minute? They did not run afoul with us based on the
Yeah, it was a partnership is
dissolution.
what I
No,
heard.
that was not it. He failed to get his application renewed.
Okay,
That's where he ran afoul with the state.
right.
The state refused to enforce any action and demanded that the town enforce the action.
Okay,
So that's the background on that one.
understand. I'm only hearing this
Yeah.
probably ninth hand,
Oh, yeah.
small town rumor mill.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to obtain some clarity over what the possibilities are here. And I've read your ordinance exhaustively, and I can't quite figure it out, because the physical manifestation makes sense. That, I grew up in this town. It makes sense. The changing to an LLC, does that get me in trouble? Does me taking on partners get me in trouble? Does me doing any of the other normal business related that any other business could do get me in trouble? And that's all, what I'm trying to get clarified. That's all.
Do
Do you have any insight, Melanie?
A little bit. First of all, if you took on partners, yes, that would change the ownership of the business. So I'm assuming you'd have to change that at the state level and also at the town level on the application just to update.
You wouldn't, at the state level.
I'm assuming with the ordinance, however, it does say in the ordinance, if I'm remembering correctly, that if you change owners or contact information, you do have to update that with the town. That's not saying you're gonna get in trouble.
Is that a grounds for
I don't
prohibition of the
believe
li-
so, but if
of
you
the
don't,
license?
again, if you're not providing the correct information on your license,
Sure.
when you renew, then it could be. That's
Right.
hypothetical. As far as grandfathering in, the correct term is non-conforming, but the puff box, yes, they're considered non-conforming. Could they sell that to another person as the ways the ordinance is written now? Probably not, no.
Not in that location.
My suggestion for you would be if you want to seek counsel on what your rights would be, that you talk to an attorney. But I can provide an email with some clarification. If you want to email me and write specific questions down, I can provide some insight.
Well, I got them. I mean, I just asked them, so that's why
Yeah,
I'm trying to
I have them
get.
written down, so I can email you back after I take a look at the ordinance with me in
Sure.
review.
Sure. Melanie is our town planner,
Mhm.
so.
Is there anything
Anybody
else?
have any other questions?
I don't, yeah, I use satisfactory with that response.
This was all just to kind of get the wheels rolling.
Yeah.
You know, just to get the questions asked and trying to figure out what my rights are.
And
I understand that my rights are going to be limited beyond that of other businesses. I wish that weren't the case, but it seems to be, like in Pop Box's case, that would be the case. He cannot sell his business. So, you know, that's impactful to a business owner. So he has to go down with the ship. I'd rather not be in that same boat.
All excellent questions.
Thank you.
Just
Did-
need some, yeah.
Did you have any questions about the licensing fees?
As far as the licensing fees goes, the town's gonna do what they're gonna do. Personally, I see it as a cash grab, but there's, you know, I don't see any other, towns that are putting out, license fees that are this high. I have another store in the town of Standish. I'm the only store in that town by municipal authority. I pay $1,000 a year. So you guys are charging 5 times that amount to the medical cannabis industry. I don't know what justifies it, but that's not my call to make.
Just to explain to Mike, I think we tried to mirror towns around us, like Fairfield and Farmington, to stay within.
Solon?
We just went with that as an average, because the other towns were charging that, we figured we were at that level, so. It wasn't like we were doing it to grab cash, we just tried to,
It feels punitive on this side.
it wasn't intended that way, we just needed to be up to par with the other towns around us. And that's kind of the way we looked at it. I know we discussed it as a board and talked about it, so.
Thank you for your time.
Will you
Thank
email
you.
me those questions, please?
Sure.
I tried to write down as best as I could.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure, I have this written as a document,
Okay,
so,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay, moving on to TIF budget allocations and updated spreadsheet. Do we need to vote on this tonight, or?
Well, we're paying bills out of the TIF account. We need to have, at some point, there's gotta be a vote.
Okay. I'd like to clear this up tonight if we can.
Yep.
Get it finished. Questions?
So I think one of the questions that had been directed to me was, where is the money going? So we've got about $70,000 that has come in under the first tax payment. That was in the end of September, early October. And of that 70,000, we have already committed or spent almost 45,000 of that. Some of it went to This year's Madison Anson Days, which happened before this discussion took place, and based on prior years' allowance of expenditures for local events. And some of it has been for road striping and road maintenance. There's been some for the KV, Kennebec Valley Tourism Book for advertising to bring business to Madison. 5,000 of it went to a matching grant for one of our local businesses that we had already approved. There's still another $5,000 that is outstanding that has not been completed yet on the matching grant. So we have roughly about 25,000 of the 70,000 that is, right now, it's uncommitted. There's some of that 25,000 that is going to be needed for the Preble Avenue fields. They've had some lighting and some generators that they used to provide lighting for night games for football and soccer. I don't know if they used any for, I don't think they did any baseball night games or anything, but. And so none of these items that have been spent out of this budget so far have any alternate source of budgeting, okay?
Anybody have any questions with regard to this? It looks to me like we're around $2,400 short, right? We talked about that.
Yes.
And we need to get that money from somewhere without being out of the 14.
I would say we would take that out of the 14,000 that's undesignated that was previously assigned for matching grants from last year.
Okay.
That's an easy fix.
Jeff?
So what are we doing with the salt and calcium here? So you're telling me that you're putting salt and calcium and public safety over lights at a recreation field? It just blows my mind.
I did not say that.
We're not talking that.
You have $55,000 in your budget line for salt and calcium.
I know I do, Denise, but historically, we have always taken that salt and calcium. We've had this conversation last week. Do I need to reread my letter that I wrote to the board last week? I am asking for that money. I do not want to take the chance of us not getting that Betty money and get mine down to zero.
We gotta get through this, get it approved, so we can get to that point. I assure you.
So am I taking the money out of my budget, or am I getting it from the TIF? Denise has been trying to meddle in my budget since the day I got here, okay? And this is wrong. And that money has been voted on by the townspeople to spend. And this is totally wrong.
We're spending it.
The money that has been voted on by the townspeople to spend is in your budget line. That's the $55,000. And frankly, the idea that I'm meddling in your budget is ridiculous. I am responsible for the budget for the entire town, whether it's highway, fire, or recreation, or anybody else. That's my responsibility to manage the budget. So I'm not meddling, I am overseeing.
You gave me a $1,300 bill last month when I didn't see that. I asked for it 3 times that I did not get, and then it appears in my department head summary for advertising, which was never in there until you dug it out and found it from years past. I asked for that bill 3 times and I'd never seen it until the very last after it had been spent. I'm asking this board to reconsider and put that be $15,000 for salt and $5,000 for calcium out of this TIF account right now that we are in.
I don't think we can do anything until we pass this, Jeff. That's what we're trying to do at this moment, okay? If we don't okay this, we can't at this point. We're
Okay.
trying to get this through, it's dragged out for too long,
It
okay?
has.
So,
I don't disagree, Sean.
so if we can get through this, then the TIF money's set, it's delivered.
Can I offer some clarification?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so money can be spent, out of the coming year budget before it's assigned, which is what's currently been taking place. Where there currently is confusion is, I've had a conversation with Denise, I've had a conversation with Jeff, is that we currently have monthly transfers, that take place, which are replenishing the operating fund. And that's where the concern is coming from for spending. It does not affect the amount that, what the board is deciding on today, which is numbers on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
We know what we're going to get in for revenue. If you look in your binders, you'll be able to see what's coming in for revenue. And it's two different matters being talked about. One is the order in which money is being spent, and the other is the budget. What is in front of you for your budget sheet, that's the budget. That's the amount that you're assigning for what we're anticipating for revenue coming in this year. What Jeff is talking about is the order in which the money is being spent. So it's two different topics that are being discussed tonight. But what's on the agenda would be the budget, and I would like to provide the recommendation as a treasurer that out of the funds that still need to be transferred to replenish the operating account, and then the $14,000 that has been assigned, that has been unspent, taking that into account to the balance that's still sitting in the bank account that will not be assigned even if you assign that full $447,000. So whether you take that out of the matching grants, that's up to you as a select board. You have the discretion to do so. But the matter of in which how the budget is spent is a different topic, and I just want to make that clear. So.
Thank you. Any other concerns?
I just
Yes.
have one more follow-up.
Yep,
All I'm suggesting is that until the Betty Enhanced money comes in, which is $304,000, which should come in the middle of December, I am recommending that any salt and calcium purchases at this point in time come out of the budget, which was approved by the voters, which includes $55,000 for salt and $2,600 for calcium. That's my recommendation. And at the point where the Betty money comes in, then we can move it back, we can do whatever we need to do, but it's not gonna be unavailable forever. It's just a matter of 2 months.
Jeff, I just wanted to follow up on something I thought you said. Does not utilizing the money in the TIF for the purpose you want, does that jeopardize, you feel like, the Betty money that we're anticipating?
Are we sure we're getting that money is my question.
Yes,
Yes.
I mean-
we are sure we're getting that money.
The way the government is now,
But that's a guaranteed.
that's a
It's-
guarantee.
Yes. Just the date in which we receive it is the unanticipated part, because it's not set in stone. Normally it's December, but it could be end of January.
John?
So we got some TIF money sitting in the account from last year that's undesignated, correct?
The 14,000.
Yes.
Are we moving that forward to balance this out? Could we do something like that or no?
Well, that's what Denise just proposed would be, so the difference between what the proposed budget is compared to the amount of revenue that's coming in for this year, she suggested taking that difference of that 14,000 to offset that. If you weren't to do that, then you could take that out of the amount that has been unassigned and unspent that's sitting in that bank account. Which,
So how much would we have to make up that? Or would we be okay after that?
so it would be It'd be a small percentage, it's about 2,000
$2,000.
off.
$2,400, I think, out of that 14,000.
Sounds like a no-brainer to me, right?
I'm sorry?
Sounds like a no-brainer to me,
To take it out of that.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just as a board, I do want to caution you to be mindful of spending anything extra out of TIF this coming year, just because the amount that we have undesignated and unassigned, if we were to go based off of what's being proposed tonight for the 447,135 for the budget, if you take that with what's coming in for revenue, that leaves $24,867.25 in the account. And we normally spend out of the coming year before that year's TIF budget is assigned, which is allowable, because as a board, you sign off on it when you're doing the warrants.
So that would be the carryover going into 26.
Yeah.
6,
So it's not
27.
like we have a huge pot of money sitting in the
we
bank
don't.
account, so I just urge you to be mindful of that.
That's where the 14 came from, we're talking about here, correct?
No, that 14 is subtracted from that already.
There.
So another question is, where are we with the tree warden line? I don't have a budget in front of me, so I've had a couple of calls from residents that need some trees taken down. What am I supposed to relate to them? To wait till the spring, or where are we here?
We are proposing $10,000 in the tree removal line.
Unknown caller.
And you haven't used any yet, so.
Right, there's $10,000.
So there's 10,000, so I can spend that tomorrow if I need to.
Well,
No, that's what's being proposed in the TIF budget. It's not a matter of, you know, how
Well,
much.
that's what I'm asking, is, I mean, when is that money available so I can tell these residents that they need the trees cut down?
I think as soon as we get to the point where the select board has approved the budget as it is proposed, and we determine what is the balance that is available to spend, which is, I think at this point, what did I say, about 25,000 right now.
because you have to wait for have you gotten
We've gotten the 70,000 or the 69,000.
That's okay.
We've gotten the 69,000, and so 69 minus 45 is about 24,000.
Okay.
So leaving some for the bills in the other departments that don't have any alternate source of
Okay.
expense line,
Mhm.
you know, I think we can definitely cover some of those trees. I wouldn't want to spend all 10,000 right off the bat.
Right.
As a treasurer, because of this situation, I'm considering moving forward based on this to start doing quarterly transfers, because it's allowable, breaking it out per month, but doing the physical transfers quarterly. Just because we're talking about funds on the budget paper is different than what we have in the bank account. It's always going to be. And really, it's the internal matter that's causing this discussion here.
Okay. Can I just say something? So the money is there. Jeff doesn't have this budget right here. You
No, I
don't have the
don't.
TIF budget in front of you. Okay, so the money is in the line for his salt, which was the 30,000. And then the calcium for 10,000, and that's what you anticipated, correct?
In the TIF budget?
Yeah.
What's in there? I have no idea. I didn't get this information.
I've given this to you at least 3 times.
So,
Is this the updated one?
yeah. So
So there's $40,000, correct?
So what's happening is they're just taking it out of your budget, your regular budget.
Yeah, I
line.
understand that, Kathy.
And but once all the TIF money comes in, which it will throughout the year, okay, once the TIF money comes in, then they will transfer from the TIF, it'll be in the TIF budget, and then they'll transfer that money into your line budget so that it actually gets paid out of the TIF like it's supposed to, some of that. So it will, your budget will be as you expected, and that'll kind of straighten out that line for you in the end. It will, it should, I mean, that's how.
Exactly right.
That's how it gets balanced out, and so it should. I know it's not coming out of there right now, and it's coming out of your regular budget, but that's what we need to do here tonight, is we need to pass the TIF budget so that that money is in that line for you, okay? And it will be, at some point, available, and it will offset your regular budget line. Is that okay? I mean, so, but that's why we have to approve this tonight the way that it is. Your money is in there as you had planned that it would be. And so I guess that's why that's why we need to prove the TIF budget tonight. Your money is there, and it will, in the end, go onto your regular budget, and it will go into those lines on your regular budget.
Okay, we'll see.
So that money will be there. I mean, I'm confident that it will be.
Any other questions or concerns with regard to this before we vote? And we're going to need to vote on it tonight. And again, I just want to clarify that $2,400 is going to come out of that 14,
Yes.
and we're leaving the rest of it.
And the rest of it will remain undesignated.
Okay. So, do we have a motion?
Make a motion that we approve the TIF budget as written.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any concerns or questions further? Seeing none, all in favor? So moved. Thank you. Okay, moving on to items of communication, living well bi-weekly report. Do we have anything to show tonight? Are we good?
We're working on our wellness event calendar, so that will go out this month. We are offering over 10 free events to the public, and then the only other new update I have is that the service berry trees will be added to the playground.
Say that again?
The service berry trees will be added to the playground, and is going over this week.
Okay. Number 2, town manager's report on expenses, revenues, and monthly GA. Denise?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have one correction that I want to make is there were some repairs for the fire department building area, and those actually went into the capital line, but we don't have a capital budget. And that is one of the items that I wanted to make sure got included in the TIF budget, which you just passed. So that line item is $10,000 for repairs and maintenance. And so that's $3,900 that is going to be transferred from capital into the TIF.
Anything else?
That's it on the expenses, the revenues.
Did that get completed,
Yes,
your ramp?
No,
we get 2 bills from Devon.
Nothing to do with the ramp, no,
What was that then?
that was for the entrance doors. The 4,700 that come out of TIF, I thought it come out of TIF.
I got 3,900. That's what's been paid. So, I thought wasn't that the stairs on the back?
No,
What was it?
for the 2 entrance doors and a repair on another door.
Okay. All right. So that's gonna come out of the $10,000 that has been assigned to fire department building under TIF.
Denise? So if he comes, but he wants to do that back steps by Snowfly,
Yeah.
is it okay to do that?
If it's under $5,000, which I think it was,
Yes, and it's coming out of TIF.
yes,
The 10,000 for the doors and the 10,000 total,
yes,
5 and 5, yeah.
yes.
Okay.
That's part of that budget, because it's not it's not allocated anywhere else, it's only allocated in the TIF.
What do you mean by coming out of capital? I guess I'm confused on that. The two,
When Judy paid the bill, she assigned it to the capital line under the 60 capital expense. But there's no money in the capital expense for the fire department repairs. That's why we had to put it into the TIF. So it's just gonna be a journal entry to transfer it.
my understanding was coming out of TIF.
It is,
Okay,
it is,
But
but she put it under the wrong account.
I see.
Okay, any other questions with regard to the reports tonight?
And then we did, last month, we did get a special, or actually it was October 1st, we got a special allotment from general assistance. They had passed in their last legislative session a $4 million update. And what I did was I added that information for you so that you could see where that money came from. It does not represent any of our regular monthly payments. It is only, it's a special allocation. But we did get our August money. We haven't got the July money, but I'm gonna follow up on that with the GA people.
Yes, Joe?
So I think I asked last week, if you submitted those monthly or quarterly. I think it was quarterly, right?
No, I submit them monthly.
Monthly, okay.
Yep, so after this warrant goes through, there won't be any other payments made out in October, so I'll prepare the October reimbursement request and get that out to the state for reimbursement.
Yeah, I thought
They're
that
done
was,
on a monthly basis.
yeah, I thought it was odd that June didn't come in, but August did. Obviously, you don't have an answer to that.
I
Did we
know.
end up getting May?
May and
April.
June, yes, we did get May and June. They came in August.
Any other questions with regard to that? Okay, moving along to number 3, Old Point Avenue security locks and key fobs.
Sadly, we have had to change the locks on the building here. There was an incident where somebody was trespassing, and he's been, I believe he was arrested. We've changed the locks. We're working on, we've got the master key in the lockbox. We've got a master key at the office, and John Harlow has a master key. We're working on getting duplicates made for the people that need them. And my duplicates are not working, so I tried them tonight. So I don't know what it is, but the duplicate key is not working. Only the master key is working right now, so. If there's anybody that needs to have access to the building, please call Cheyenne. She'll give you the access code to the lockbox, because it was changed.
That's just for the building? Okay, I don't,
Moving on to new business, number 1, Somerset County Commissioners District 2 vacancy, municipal officials to vote on replacement Wednesday, 11/19/2025 at 5 p.m. at the Somerset County Courthouse.
Yes, so this is Sip Johnson, previously lived in Madison, has moved back to Skowhegan, had to resign his county commissioner seat because he no longer is a Madison resident, no longer a resident of District 2. So now there's a vacancy. The municipal officials, which is the select boards in District 2, will be meeting at the Somerset County Courthouse, meeting room, to elect a replacement to fill the vacancy. And the vacancy will be only until the end of, until the next municipal election. That's as I understand it. Yeah, so, whoever gets appointed, if they want to continue as county commissioner, then they would need to run on, put their name in for the ballot. But it's important that you guys make yourself available for that, because you are the ones that are gonna be electing that county commissioner, along with, I think it's Anson and Emden for District 2. And I think they have, 2 individuals, or 3 actually. Janet White from New Portland, Paul Frederick from Starks, and Don Skillings from Madison have identified as interested in running for that vacant seat.
Okay. Comments or questions? Okay, so then moving on to number 2, the assessors meeting, which is going to be Monday, November 10th, 2025, 5:30 PM at OPA meeting.
Not OPA,
Oh, no, sorry.
at East Madison Fire Station.
Right. That would be prior to the actual board meeting, yeah.
Yeah.
All set with that. Number 3, comprehensive plan update, discuss roles and responsibilities.
It was, reading the minutes from the planning board meeting, it was brought to my attention that the planning board does not feel that they should be their sole responsibility for the comprehensive plan update that is in the process right now of being updated. And they would like to have a committee of community involvement to review and make those arrangements. Melanie, can you speak to that? I mean, okay, thank you. Because I'm just going by the notes.
Sure. So the comprehensive plan, which for people who don't know, is a document that is required by the state of Maine to be completed and updated every 10 years in order to keep us in line with our ordinances up to date and essentially in line with state laws. That's the major purpose of it. It also opens us up to be eligible for certain grants. The current update was partially completed by Tim Curtis with a committee a few years ago, but it is not completed. At Kennebec Valley Council of Governments, we've recently received a grant through the Maine Emergency Management Association that gives us about $30,000 to complete this update for Madison. So Madison isn't paying anything for it. However, I do need someone to review it. The planning board, we've been reviewing it with them firstly, but they do not feel like it is their job to do because there was a committee previously, and they would like to set up another committee to do that. And unfortunately, I've looked in the ordinances and there is no charter, so there is no real direction into how to do that. Normally, towns will have a charter or a ordinance saying, planning board's responsible for this, planning board would start a committee. We don't have anything, so.
So his comments are that he would like me to work on creating this committee?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If that's acceptable to the board, then I will work on that.
Do you know how many people you're looking for?
I would say there would be a minimum 5 to 7.
Minimum, we really need people who are willing to read the chapters, who are willing to provide review. You don't need to be an expert on the subject matter, you just need to be a resident of Madison. If we could have kind of a good variance of people who are in different industries, the topics covered are historical, archaeological, population and demographics, industrial economy, housing, and then land use. So it's a lot, and then also recreation and natural resources. So if we can have people who are kind of spread throughout that. Mary Tomlinson and Randy have also already offered.
So would you say more than 7 then?
It can-
Closer to,
I think not more than 20 would be nice.
not more than 20?
We need enough people who are gonna actually show up once a month and get this done. It's gonna take about 2 years, I'm guessing. It'll be 1 chapter a month. But if we can, and I'm not meeting on weekends, please don't meet me. And if we can just pick a night once a month that everyone is open for, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
Do we have any idea what the board was made up that Tim had?
I'm not aware. Randy does.
It was a planning board.
Oh, it was, okay. Okay.
Can I offer a suggestion?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I had spoke with Melanie after, and she's doing a lot currently with our planning board right now. And some planning board members do have like an interest, like Mary Tomlinson, and I believe Robin Turk is also interested too. Instead of trying to create a new meeting date, why not just put the tail end of the planning board meeting to be, we're working on the comprehensive plan. And and invite those additional members to join in, and if certain planning board members don't wanna sit in, then they don't have to. So that way it's not just restricted to the planning board.
Or it
It's like
could
call it a
be-
meeting, then go into the comprehensive plan.
Or it could be before the planning board meeting, so it's not so late at night.
That would be
Yeah.
absolutely fine too.
Yeah.
Those Tuesdays are already booked for me for Madison, so that would work great.
Okay, so you're gonna take some steps to recruit
Yes,
some more people?
I will recruit people.
Okay, okay. Anybody have any concerns or comments on that? Okay, moving on. Number 4, policy for hunting on town-owned property.
A gentleman came into the office last week asking for permission. He wanted written permission to hunt down,
Right here.
oh, thank you, sir.
So all towns let you hunt their public property unless designated for some specific reason. You guys have walking trails down on the south end, past the boat landing, and hiking trails, track trails. You ain't gonna go hunt there. But you guys have land everywhere. And so why can't the public be able to access that and hunt that? That's all you need written permission. You don't need written permission to go run the trails. You don't need written permission to go fish the boat landing. It's public land. Should be able to use it, right?
Yes, and so I researched this with some other communities and also with the town attorney. The town attorney suggested, to make sure that everything was within IF&W rules and regulations. The land belongs to everyone in town, so it could be used for recreational purposes. We need to make sure that the town is protected from liability on any issue. The other aspect of it is public health and safety, that you can't fire a gun within a certain distance from a residential property or whatever. So I think it was, were you talking about down behind the brush dump?
Over past the incinerator, I went in looking for land that Madison owned.
Yeah,
And I'm just trying to find out, because you look at town maps and you get a number.
yeah,
But unless you know the person's name, it's pretty hard to look it up on our end, unless
Yeah.
you go see you guys. I went to see you guys, tried looking this land up, and the reason was for hunting. And at first it was, no, you're not allowed to hunt Madison's property. And then I was gonna get a call back second day. Instead, I called back, and they went through a bunch of people in town, I guess, and nothing saying you can, nothing saying you can't, but you still need written permission. But it still goes in the guidelines of, if you're gonna go hiking or go do recreational trail running, whatever, on you guys' property, you don't need permission. So why do I need permission to go over here? Or to go
because
over
you'd
there?
be firing a weapon. I think that's the difference. I'm not positive, but I think that's the difference.
But there's rules with hunting as long as fishing also. So as long as you're abiding by the law and doing what you're supposed to be doing, I mean, you're supposed to be responsible when you're on somebody's property.
We don't have any ordinance that bans it or permits it. Some of the information that I got from Maine Municipal. So towns have very little home rule authority to regulate hunting on town-owned property. Municipalities are preempted from enacting any ordinance, law, or rule regulating hunting or trapping of any species of wildlife. The state has also preempted the entire field of legislation concerning the regulation of firearms, components, ammunition. Municipalities may not adopt any order, ordinance, rule, regulation concerning the sale, purchase, transfer of firearms. Since the legislature has provided municipalities with very limited authority to regulate hunting on town-owned property, it logically follows, this is from MMA Legal. It logically follows that a municipality would not be liable for any tort claims that arise from hunting on town-owned property. That being said, I think it may be possible for a municipality to regulate the location and use of tree stands on town-owned property to promote hunter safety and maintenance of town property. So there's really no good answer.
My biggest reason was I was trying to get my son out youth day hunting. But it's pretty hard. Luckily, I found a gentleman to help me out. But it's pretty hard to find land nowadays because it's been abused by the wrong people. I came to you looking for permission first.
Yes.
I wanted permission first. You're gonna know, you know I'm gonna be out there. Now, I'm going by the laws, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. We pay taxes on it. I mean, well, there was a concern brought up, there's 6 acres, and the lady did not know this, from the backside of the baseball field where the walking trails are, somebody owns a specific 6 acres that cuts that off from the Madison property. And that is posted like crazy, you can't even get on it. So there's no walking trails over there, but not only that, I don't know where else you guys have land, that if it gets congested, I'll go over there, I'll try this, I'll go walk. I don't have to put a tree stand up, I can sit on the ground. But there could be all kinds of things.
Yes, in the back.
Isn't the Western Woods and Waters open to hunting?
As I thought, but supposedly not.
Because I know quite a few people who actually do hunt that. Because it's not town-owned, but it is public land.
Somerset Woods Trust.
There's walking trails all through it.
So Somerset Woods trustees, it's owned by Somerset Woods trustees, and they allow hunting on all their property.
Right. I do just want to clarify that the trails that are right next to the boat landing, that isn't owned by Somerset Woods trustees. They have a 7-foot easement. So all the land after that, that is private property and it's going to be for that.
So what about the property over by Shunovitz Field?
By what?
Shunovitz Field, over past Forest Hill Cemetery, headed out.
That's Somerset Woods trustees.
Right. So,
That part-
I
you're
mean,
talking
all
about
of their
that parking lot.
property is posted with the Somerset trustees. And if you go to their page, it shows you all of their property. And
Right,
all
and
of
they-
that property,
And they'd like you to notify them that you're gonna hunt there.
right.
Yeah.
So all of that is open for hunting.
Okay, so I'm not sure. I know where the walking trail is, but
Yeah,
I'm just
I
looking
mean, I can show you.
in general, yeah. I just went to get a map, see where does Madison own? Where am I allowed to bring my kid to go hunt, or if he tags out, where can I go hunt?
Right, and a lot of the places that Madison owns isn't, a lot of times even large enough for rifle hunting. A lot of it isn't. So I mean, bow hunting you definitely could, but for rifle hunting, it's not
I
really,
know the parcel I'm looking for is plenty big enough.
yeah, over by the dump, right?
Hunter don't try to tell us secrets or try to ask too many questions, but it's Madison property. Yes, over on the backside of the incinerator.
Right.
Madison has a huge chunk up there, and it goes on and it hits North Walk, and it goes for probably a couple miles before it hits any houses. So a lot of woods up through there.
How much do we?
On the backside North Walk, I don't know who owns that.
About 20 acres.
Yeah. I'm just
So
looking
I
for
was the one that
property.
originally talked to this individual, and
Good for-
my first reaction
So
was,
I can show you where the
There's
two
rifle
people
hunting
talking.
is, because it's hundreds of acres.
Okay. Cheyenne.
so I was the one that spoke with this individual and tried to help him. My first reaction was, when somebody says hunting on town property, I'm thinking like, well, we own a lot of buildings really close by, I don't think so. But after speaking with the individual and looking at the tax maps, I didn't think of Ash Street as even being an option. And not going to Ash Street a lot as a town clerk. I didn't realize how big it was, and that was when, it was unclear on whether we do allow it or not. So that's how this conversation came to be, because, in the office, we had never been told whether it was allowed or it wasn't. And normally you do have to ask somebody if they're gonna hunt on your property. So that's how we came to be here.
And I did check with Jeff, and I checked with Tim Curtis. I checked with Jack. I've asked several people, you know, what is the policy, what is the history of it, and nobody had any information as to, it's been allowed, it's never been allowed. So that's why I suggested that I was gonna bring it to the board tonight, to get some guidance.
My feelings about the whole thing, I see it from your perspective. If Madison does have a chunk of land that is huntable and legal to be hunted on, obviously we don't own too much land. Just like you said, a lot of these buildings can't be hunted around, but that chunk you're talking about out there, it would fall in the realm of huntable land that our citizens have access to. So beyond that, asking for permission, thank you for even thinking of doing that, because in years past, they wouldn't even come out and ask, they'd just go out there, I'm sure.
This world is changing. I don't think many people want to go up 100 feet, over 10, down 20, over 30, up 40.
Yeah.
It's changing.
So
You're going to be less hunters out there anyway.
it leaves us as a board to say we're gonna post it or we're gonna leave it open to the public. And I personally feel it should be left open to the citizens if it is huntable land and in the laws of the inland fisheries and wildlife. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
I don't see any reason to do other than what's been in place. I commend you for asking.
Thank you, yeah.
Once upon a time, I used to hunt out there, so.
I know a lot of people that do, a lot of people that have.
Yes,
No, I'm in agreement with John and Sean.
okay.
Should we adopt a policy then, or should we just leave it as is?
I would say leave it as is,
Permission only.
unless you wanna get,
We're not held liable.
well, according to what you told us, we're not, right?
No.
And I think what Ken said was that too. If we didn't want somebody to hunt, we post it.
Right. But he did advise that we should, if we're gonna allow it, that we should adopt a policy.
You did.
So
Should we get,
we can adopt a policy for next
Maybe,
hunting
yeah,
season and
maybe, yeah.
leave this season as
Yeah.
is.
I'm almost thinking maybe asking permission.
So should there be a certain acreage that is allowable for hunting? Because like you said, you want to bring your son, right? And obviously we want, those of us who hunt, we also want to be safe doing it, especially if we're going to bring our children. So shouldn't there be a certain amount of acreage? Because, you know, okay, so everybody finds out that we open this up, you know, public, everybody can hunt there, right? So if you have 20 acres, but then everybody and their brother goes out there, you know, I wouldn't feel safe bringing my kid out there because you don't know. I mean, you have people that, you know, they hear a bush move and, oh God, you know, because some people don't follow the rules. So should there be a distinction on how much acreage is to be unposted for hunting versus, you know, what should be posted for hunting, for safety purposes?
Yes.
I believe that the Inland Fisheries and Wildlife has a, I want to say it's 10 acres, but we'd have to look it up, right, to where anybody could hunt on their own property, even without a hunting license, if there is a certain amount of acres. And I believe it's 10 acres. So obviously the safety aspect of hunting is a very dangerous sport. We love doing it, right? We can't be responsible for the other people's, we'll call it ignorance, I guess, and getting startled when there is a populace. Where I live, there's a lot of people that go hunting out there, and you would never think that you would see any hunters on like 1,000 acres of land, and I come across 3 or 4 every hunting season. So there is a lot of variables in the safety aspect of it. Completely understandable there, but I think the Inland Fisheries and Wildlife actually has a designated acreage that what you could hunt on, and I believe it's 10 acres. So if we own 20 out there, I know that would fall in the realms of being able to hunt.
And Denise, you said that he recommended that we establish a policy.
Yeah, the board should adopt a policy about hunting on town lands.
I would say that we need to look into that. Obviously, we can't do anything this year, but maybe we should put that on an agenda too.
I
So
mean-
have a relatively simple policy that we can,
Just figure
that we
out
can have, so in
locations
case
that are
someone
available.
comes and asks,
Yep.
as well as maybe some some sort of a map that shows the pieces that are actually huntable.
Yep.
Yes? You guys
So
all
as
agree with
of
that?
last Friday, there was nothing saying you can't,
Right,
nothing saying you can.
right.
So hunting starts Saturday. Are we not allowed to use that this year?
No, I'm just saying, we'll look at this for the next year. No. And it doesn't mean that you're not gonna be able to next year either, it's just, we need to have something probably written as a policy.
So this is the rec fields for Preble Avenue, and this is the brush dump.
So all this land right here,
That's somebody else's.
that's already on the 6 acres.
Right.
That's 6 acres.
And there is a residence right here. So,
So then the line stops here.
Well, that's in town.
Yeah, you can't be near that, you can't be near that to hunt.
that's the brush dump.
Well, that rubber fields are close to, incinerator, so.
I get that, they, hunters need to know that those fields are being, you can't be
We don't, we don't.
They shouldn't be hunting on the so.
No, they're not supposed to, that'd be illegal.
Besides the clear cut, like baseball fields, we don't own that.
No.
So we have angle.
It is,
Can you
because
put the TIF numbers on
Mike
it?
owns, you know,
Pokey, pokey, bring it closer.
nothing's very clear
It is. It is. Ain't done right. There's no way you can pay a bill.
I went to the town office.
The TIF account number on it, they don't have that.
We don't actually.
The TIF number check.
A map of.
You know why we don't?
So at least you don't get crossed off.
Huh?
I get crossed off and send that to me.
They can go through our tax maps.
Because what?
So, we're good with that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay,
So, final word, the policy is silent right now, so
yes,
hunt.
Hunt.
yeah. And again, we are not looking at shutting it off either.
Right.
Rough terrain.
He's like it's very good.
Okay, moving on to letter H, citizen concerns.
I just got something we ought to address soon. I've heard a lot of negative feedback about this four-way stop coming at Ward Hill. A lot of people in the public don't know about it. I think we ought to take some action now and have the meeting now, instead of waiting till April. And then the state's pretty well, it sounds like they got their mind made up. We may not be able to change their mind. But I think if we get involved now and start working with this now, instead of waiting till April, and then they're gonna do something this spring, we ought to have some kind of public meeting now and just let everybody in the public know, instead of give them 1 month's notice and then they start the work.
It's on my to-do list.
Does the state hold public hearings on changes like that?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's something we ought to start soon than later. It sounds like to me they've made their mind up, that's what they're gonna do. And if we wait till April, then it's way too late, I
Right,
think.
but does the state hold public hearings on something like that?
Yes.
Yes.
Your own.
Yes, they do.
So would we be duplicating efforts by doing our own here?
No, we'll have them, I think the state ought to be here and be involved. There's a lot of negative feedback on it, and I
But
agree.
you're saying that their plan is to do it in April?
It sounds like it from that meeting we
Yeah.
attended, they're gonna start it this spring.
Yeah, yeah. So the sooner we,
I think the sooner we get moving on this and get everybody in the public aware of what's gonna happen,
yeah,
and,
good with that.
and I think, yeah, we gotta, something's gotta be done, but I don't think that's the answer.
Yeah, it's already on my radar.
When do you think we might do that, Denise?
Did you have a question? Yes.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, I put in a request for some information from the Freedom of Access. And I would like to hear from the town manager why she took it upon herself and thought it was appropriate to CC a third party in my request. That would be, I'm guessing who she thought was my employer. That was my personal request, and I would like to hear from her why she took it upon herself to include a third party in the response to me.
Yes, I did. I did include the third party. I went by the email address that you had supplied and wanted to include the person that was responsible for that email.
I was very specific about where to send my request.
I understand.
That is not even my employer, by the way. Your intentions, I get it. And I will speak to the board. This town's already been in one retaliation lawsuit. What was your motivation for that? I asked you to send my documents to my work email address, where I have worked for 32 years. And you take the liberty of including who you thought was my employer? Yeah.
Yes, I did that.
Because they own my email address?
Is there a specific reason?
I'm sure there was at the time, but it was 2 weeks ago, and I don't recall right now.
Oh, no, I was trying to.
Have you received your information yet?
Nope.
No, I acknowledged the receipt of her request, and I gave her a date by which that information would be made available.
Okay.
I walked into her office with 2 letters because she has indicated in these meetings that she doesn't like being called out in public, so I figured that I would drop it off to her. And so I did, and she responded to that by making a copy of the letter that I just dropped off, that I didn't need a copy of, and put it in the response to my employer and me.
I don't know what to tell you at this point. We'll have to talk with her about this.
Yeah, I'm thinking you probably
Address
should.
it. Yeah, probably. We will. Any other concerns this evening? Okay. Seeing none, select board, oh, sorry.
There were people here from Lily Lane that wanted to speak.
Oh, okay. Let's hear from Lily Lane.
Now's your chance.
Yeah. How are you?
I came to Cheyenne, or Mrs. Stevens, a couple of weeks ago, or 3 or 4 weeks ago, when we got our last tax bill. And it's like, oh my gosh. And I just came asking for help, see what I can do. The project that we built there, I mean, the town loved it. It was great to have it come into the town. It cost me about $800,000 to build it back in 2018. And my taxes back then were $11,000. And they've crept up a little, but so was the town budget. So I don't mind. It supports our schools and everything else. So I've gone from $11,000 to $25,400. So, I mean, there's only one person worse than that, and that's the insurance companies. That's gone from 6 to 18. And I keep raising the rates on my tenants. And what cost me $800,000 is assessed at almost 1.8 million now. So, I mean, this does not make business sense to have anything like that, but it's a community thing kind of, but it's a private business. I didn't use any federal funds, don't believe in it. It just raises more taxes. So I'm trying to keep things as cheap as I can, and I'm at my wit's end because when I keep raising these rates, I've got people that are on $1,600, $1,800 a month income having to pay $1,000 for rent now. And I don't know what to do. And then we've got the town water going up another 50%, and we're gonna getting whacked again. The sewer's gone up. It's just out of control. And the only people who can afford it are not people from this town anymore. And it was built for this town. So now, if I raise the rates again, I'm gonna start losing people. I've got a pretty good turnout of some great people. Yeah, and you know, it's a neat community. I've got one person back there. I've got people in there that should be in assisted living, but they all pitch in and they're taking care of them so that they haven't got to go there, making sure they got their medicine every day, 3 meals a day. You know, it's a neat little thing, but I'm going to lose the people that made this town, that worked in the shoe shops, that worked in the mills to build it, and they can't afford to live here anymore. And any help that I could get from the town, you know, would be really helpful. It's just, I mean, the pandemic money, everything's escalated in price. But I mean, I can keep raising the rent, but I'm gonna start losing people. And it's just our local, yes, Captain.
I just think that, I think that you should come to our next assessors meeting that we have, because I think that is a better, appropriate place. That's what we're assessors too.
Yeah.
And I hear your plea, but I would just, think that you should just come well prepared and come to our assessors meeting and see if you can get put onto the agenda for that.
That would be perfect.
be
I'm just
the-
kind
that
of
would be
looking
the
for
best-
guidance right now, which way to go.
That would be
and
the
that-
best place for it, because that is part of what we would do at one of our assessors meetings. is
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Discuss something like that.
Yeah, anything would be a great help.
Well, it would be
Right.
good to hear from you on that particular level as well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so, we're not using federal funds, and I looked at what I'm paying at over $25,000, and I said, well, what's something similar? So I looked at Henderson Place. I've got 14 units, there's 16 units, they're older, they're not quite as nice,
Right.
but they're paying $12,000 a year.
Mhm.
So, I'm glad I've got a nice facility, and I take a lot of pride in maintaining it and keeping it nice, but I kind of caught between a rock and a hard place here,
Right.
so.
Do you mind me asking what the average rent is for?
One bedrooms are $975, the two bedrooms are $1,000, and they went up last year with the taxes and the insurance and everything else, so I can't raise it again.
It's tough.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't want people deciding whether they can eat or pay rent,
exactly, yeah.
Especially with all the government things, the SNAP and heating assistance that people use.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of here speaking for my friends,
Yeah.
and, I mean, I've got a great group of people there that
Yes, you do.
I love them all.
You do, I know most,
Yeah.
but yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the assessors meeting is where we should
That-
start.
That's, I think that'd be the best place to, because then we could actually have a whole discussion on it and
Yeah.
stuff, and it's more than just a citizen's concern.
And
It's
that's November 10th.
actual.
Okay, good, that's my next
It's
question.
Madison Fire Station,
Okay, November 10th at,
5:30.
okay, I'll put that on my schedule,
Yeah.
and we'll do that.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for your time, I appreciate it.
Beth.
I don't
Does
think it-
Cheyenne have your email address?
I don't have your email, but I have your contact information.
One second, okay.
I do want to clarify, I asked him to come here to speak to the board
Thank you.
as a citizen concern, just because most of our population is 55 and older, so this is a citizen concern. So it's really to bring attention to
Yep.
you as a select board.
Yep.
It's just says, this is what his residents are facing, and this is what he is facing when he's one of the only housing units that we have specific to our older population.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, ma'am?
Yep, so.
I want to say that I am a resident there. Last year, the rent was raised for this year $75 a month. Understand that it's going to be an extra $50 starting January.
Two bills to BUI.
So
Yeah. We
that's
hear
where
you.
we're sitting. We're in bad shape.
Yeah, we hear you. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, thanks a lot, I appreciate it.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I won't pull it. Select board concerns, my life is over there.
I've been
Sorry,
called lower.
Sean. Sorry.
It's not so much a concern, but the last meeting I referred to John Harlow as Doug Harlow, and I want to apologize to John.
They're all yakking.
I want to apologize to John for referring to him as his father, God rest his soul. His father Doug, yeah. So that was my one thing I wanted to get out of the way. The other thing, I mentioned last meeting, Denise, that John had expressed to me that he dropped off a quote or something to upgrade the microphones. He said he did it in the previous.
Oh, that, yes.
Can you dig that up, or
I
are we
will.
gonna have to refresh it and
Yep.
start over?
Yeah.
But if you could, so we could have like a baseline of where to start and have some form of idea. I know the money's tight, obviously.
Sorry.
But,
we wait till they leave or something? I can't hear a damn
We
thing
had
you're
to
saying.
deliver our tax bill.
Yeah,
They couldn't even deliver the tax bill to the new owner when we moved.
I told that Scotty town office and they laughed, they thought it was ridiculous what Madison was doing. I'm talking about you guys charging us $5 to change our address. We moved from Ward Hill to Lily Lane. We went to the town office and they made me pay $5 to change our address. That ridiculous for the tax bill.
And we had to
I mean,
deliver our
not
tax
for a tax
bill that we
bill.
don't even live anymore. They were too
Yeah, we
busy
had
to
to
change
deliver
that.
it to our old
With the
address.
6 more people that they don't need.
I,
I mean, this town has gotta realize, people can't pay these taxes. More and more people can't pay taxes, and it's only gonna get worse if you raise it.
We understand, sir, we really do.
No, you don't.
Well, yeah, we do. We're all in this together, so.
Yeah, we sure are.
Sorry.
What a joke.
I don't know about $5 for changing an address.
We don't change, there's no charge for change of address.
Sorry,
Okay, so
John,
you wanted me to find,
I'm sorry?
you wanted me to find quotes?
Yeah, find what John Harlow dropped off. He said it was like months and months ago.
Oh, it
Could've
was
been-
last year.
Could've been a year even.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it
But
was.
it just give us like a baseline to start.
Yep.
And beside that, that's the only concern I have.
thank you. Mr. Bean,
I'm good.
you all set? Ms. Esty? All good? All good? Yeah, I'm all
Is
set.
it too late for another citizen's concern? I couldn't hear anything, everybody was echoing, and I didn't have
No,
time to ask.
no, go ahead, Chris.
I have one question, and maybe somebody can give me clarification. What is the current state of the code enforcement officer for the town of Madison? And
We
how-
have a oh, I'm sorry.
And how is it being paid for, I guess, currently?
Yes, we have a contract with KV Cog to utilize their regional code enforcement officer, and the contract is being paid out of the personnel line for the code enforcement officer.
Do you know how much that costs us, Denise?
I do. For the quarter, I believe it was about $5,000 for the quarter.
So it's about $20,000 a year.
Yeah, but we're not gonna use it for the whole year because we have posted that the position is open and we're accepting applications, and the contract is only through December 31st.
So is it the town's point not to go forward with this, only to use them until you find a
Yes,
full-time code enforcement officer?
that's correct.
Is that still gonna be full-time code enforcement / maintenance, or is it just gonna be full-time code enforcement?
Full-time code enforcement, health officer, emergency management, and facilities.
I guess my question is the last few meetings that I have been to, we're hearing all the, concerns about where to save money. If we can choose to go with KV Cog at $20,000 a year, why wouldn't we we have an opportunity to save about $60,000 by doing this? Why are we looking for a full-time code enforcement officer for just the town of Madison when we have an opportunity to start saving money?
Well, I can speak to that. We went through this when we hired our full-time code enforcement officer. We had a battle for that, and he was doing an awesome job, and he was extremely busy, constantly busy. And I feel, and this is my opinion, we need a full-time code enforcement officer here. With all the buildings and all the, everything that's going on.
I think through KV Cog, my personal opinion, Chris, is I don't think we'd have the services we would have with a full-time. We're only getting part-time, maybe a day, an afternoon a week. And I know Jeff was constantly busy 5 days a week, more than he wanted to be most of the time.
Year-round, even in the wintertime when nobody's building, that's the workload that you're saying that.
Because we do have stuff going on in the winter. I mean, people are still building in the winter and stuff going on.
I understand that, but not to the extent. I really strongly suggest, as a board, that you guys start looking at these, I mean, it's hard decisions, I get it. But we gotta start somewhere. We're hearing more and more people come to these meetings about can't afford to live here. If that's not concerning to the 5 of you up there, that's what you guys' job is.
Chris, it's,
This is why we don't sleep at night sometimes, right?
We really need to start tightening this up. And I hope that you guys start seeing different avenues of where to start saving money to lower this tax burden on the residents of Madison. That's all I have.
I mean, we've got our piece of it that we control. There's 2 unknown variables in that we don't control, and I think every town in Somerset County is dealing with it. I think every town across the state's dealing with it. It's because the damn real estate market has drove the assessed values of property through the roof, because we're not buying the land. It's people that are not even coming up and checking it, buying it from out of state, just driving values. Yeah, that's the bottom line. I mean, since pandemic, it's been that. I mean, it's killing just not Madison, it's everybody. So we gotta look at our avenue, we gotta look at our portion of the budget and trim and save and try to keep what we can for services too, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I add something to that?
Yep. If you
I know that the state has set forth a real estate property tax relief task force. I think we're trying to monitor it. I know Tim is trying to monitor it and see what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I don't know if they can do anything, but
Well, something's gotta be done, and it's gonna have to be on a higher level than even what we have.
That 4 years too late to the party.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I need a motion to adjourn. Oh, I'm sorry.
You guys have anything?
Oh,
No,
no,
she already
they
asked it.
I already asked. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor? So moved. Thank you, everyone.